So today we're going to just kind of talk through some of the challenges that we see our clients facing in terms of omnichannel order management and the complexities that can bring to business. And then we'll flip it over to our friends at NetSuite to kind of talk through how their solution addresses some of those challenges. When we talk about omnichannel, what do we mean, right? We've heard the term. We used to talk about multi-channel, and now we're talking about omnichannel. And I think I just wanted to kind of level set here before we got going so that we were all on the same page. Really, when we start talking about omnichannel, we're talking about unifying a brand experience and really ensuring that as the customer engages with the organization or the company or that brand, that they're able to have a seamless experience regardless of how they're interacting. In multi-channel, maybe we had retail point of sale units, online or brick and mortar stores, and they all operated kind of independently with their own supply chains, their own data records, and so forth. And what we're talking about with omnichannel is really trying to integrate those so that, again, as the customer has an experience with your brand or your company or your product, it's seamless for them. So clients often have their traditional order channels such as phone, email, fax, and EDI, right? Almost any organization is going to have those. But on top of that, many have B2B portals. They may have e-commerce sites, point of sale orders, and retail locations, and the list can go on. And this is especially true for our clients that deal directly with consumers. Things like durable goods, consumer packaged goods, food and beverage, electronics, right? So on and so forth. So if we consider this example, right, a consumer might research a potential purchase online. They place the order via the web. They see it's available in a store nearby, so they decide they want to go pick it up today. And maybe they purchase hopefully a few other items along the way. And then a few days later, they connect with customer support, and maybe they file a return and they ship it back to a return center via FedEx or UPS. It's a pretty common practice. I think most of us here today have engaged in some type of activity like that. I know I do a fair amount of online shopping and have certainly experienced that myself. And that becomes a reality for many companies and many of our clients. So even traditional B2B clients are moving towards e-commerce sites that look and feel more like kind of a standard consumer site. So allowing for ordering, checkout, payments, returns, complaints, all to be filed in a single place. So it's not just for the consumer-facing companies. The consumers in those scenarios are looking for a streamlined experience, and that requires a unified platform that can manage product data, pricing, customer order data, inventory, and either on a single platform or potentially through an exceptional level of integration. What we tend to see in many cases is this information ends up being siloed in various systems that have been deployed over time and with varying degrees of integration. So disparate inventory and fulfillment systems combined with non-integrated order systems obviously leads to quite a few challenges for our clients. So let's take just a couple seconds here to discuss some of those specific challenges that we see frequently in the field. When we talk about these disparate systems, what we really end up with is a break between our demand and our supply. These simple questions: could we fulfill the order on time? If I can't get it from here to the customer, could I potentially source it from somewhere else? Is the customer's order in system A or B when they call me? If I look you up by phone number or maybe a customer number, I don't see you in my system. Do I have to jump over to my e-commerce backend or a point of sale registry or something like that to find the order, to address the situation of the customer? Do I have to move that order, maybe duplicate that order if I want to fulfill it from somewhere else? And then of course, in the retail scenarios, we don't have it here. Let me call some other local stores and see if they have it. And these are just some examples of where the challenge of the disparate systems kind of trickle down and end up causing challenges in terms of customer service, delivery, and that unified brand experience that we talked about on the front side. When it comes to e-commerce, we've seen far too many organizations that look at ERP and e-commerce completely separately. Many times e-commerce ends up being managed by marketing or sales departments with an emphasis on the brand image and site design and usability. And of course, those are important factors, but ultimately the consumer's experience of the brand can become fractured. So integrating a standalone e-commerce site with your ERP is a challenge because of the amount of data that's required to really make it work and make it work well. So when you browse a website, you can view the product descriptions, you can look at the pricing, you read reviews, but consumers expect to place that order and have the shipping times met, which implies that the item's in stock, ready to ship, shipment date is correct, and all that stuff kind of comes together. When a confirmation email doesn't arrive immediately, confirming the expectations of the consumer, they start to get anxious. So for all that to come together, it really has to be tightly integrated. And what we find is that many of our clients kind of have partial integration in this space. And there's all these workarounds that we see deployed. They may pre-allocate inventory for the ERP or for the e-commerce site, and then update the e-commerce site with kind of a total bucket. That's one thing we've seen done. Tends to be risky because you're now looking up inventory that may take time to sell and locking it up for an e-commerce channel. If you do it in smaller batches, it means you're doing it all the time, a couple times a day, which obviously isn't an optimal approach either. Another area where we see struggles is with customer data. when the consumer or the customer calls in and wants to discuss an order, do we see it in our ERP or do we have to pull up that e-commerce site separately? Customer ID the same in both systems, and if not, how do we cross-reference it? These are huge obstacles when you're trying to provide a seamless experience, regardless of the channel that's coming in. For clients in retail or with counter sales, solid point of sale integration kind of helps bridge the physical and the digital customer experience. So without strong real-time integration there, it can be really hard to enable things like in-store pickups for web orders. Strong integration with the supply side of ERP helps the store managers and the retail managers understand when material will be arriving at their store so they know how to answer those questions. When will it be in stock? When can I come back? And on the other side, the buyers, when I say the other side, I mean the ERP side, the buyers are seeing real-time sales data in a tightly integrated environment. So they're getting some early demand signals and helping them buy smarter to avoid stockouts in the first place. And this can actually be taken a step further with integrated supplier portal capability, allowing your suppliers to see the demand in real time and proactively push new stock to the stores that need it. It's really about a seamless line from the store to the ERP to the supplier.